Just because you've been dancing for a long time does not mean your dancing is actually good. See, most people even believe that if they've been taking lessons for many, many years, that means their dancing is improving year by year. But unfortunately, that's not how this works. Why do you oftentimes see a newbie become so good, so fast in their dancing? Is it because they're naturally talented? Maybe. But most of the time, it's just they have a different mindset of how they train to improve their dancing. From many years of teaching people in person, I can say on average, most couples will take about 1 to 2 hours of lessons per week. So let me write that down. And then how much do you think this same couple practices? I would say between 0 to 60 minutes per month of practice on top of the lesson. How much practice is this per week? Let's say they are practicing the maximum amount, 60 minutes, divided by 4 would be 15 minutes per week. So it's 15 minutes per week for every 1 to 2 hours per week of lessons. So that's the ratio, 1 to 2 hours per week of lessons to 15 minutes per week of practice. And this is what the majority of people do. They are taking way more lessons than they are actually practicing. And here's the important thing you need to understand. Lessons are important, but lessons is where you are getting information. It's where your teacher is going to teach you the steps, the timing, the technique, the partnering work. In some lessons, you'll get a lot of lecturing. In other lessons, they may make you feel something by rearranging your body parts. I'm sure you've had that done to you so that you can feel how the movement should feel. But in general, you are getting knowledge in the lessons. But just because you got some information does not mean you'll be able to execute it in your social dancing or in your competitions, depending on your goals. Your dance lessons will give you the what and the how, but they don't inherently build the muscle memory that you need to have in your body in order to execute it outside the lessons effortlessly and consistently. You need to develop what is called muscle memory. Here's Google's definition of what muscle memory is: the ability to reproduce a particular movement without conscious thought acquired as a result of frequent repetition of that movement. So how do you get that muscle memory? Well, it's outside your lessons during practice. If lessons give you information, practice gives you muscle memory over time. There are so many dancers around the world that have all the knowledge in the world in their head, but they cannot actually do it with their body. You still have to be able to put it into your body, and it can only happen through consistent practice. Now, if we look back into this ratio is just too low. The amount of practice to the hours of lessons per week is not good here. Let me rearrange that for you of what you actually want to aim for, and that would be about 1 hour of lesson should be 2 hours of practice. This is per week. 1 hour of lessons, you should spend 2 hours practicing what you learned in that 1 hour. So if you're taking 2 hours per week, then you should be practicing 4 hours that week. This is just a ratio. I recommend you practice even more if you can. But in general, what I'm trying to explain to you is that practice is more important than lessons. And this is why someone who takes only 2 lessons per month but practices 6 hours that month is going to improve faster than someone who takes 8 lessons a month but only practices 2 hours that month. Let me just erase this real quick. And so sticking with the theme of this video of how do you become the best dancer that you can be, at the top you got the lessons, which are still important, but as I explained, you want to make sure that you practice on top of it. So make sure that you're not just doing the lessons, but you're also practicing it on top of it. But now let's talk about practice a little bit more. Most couples just get together and start practicing together without even understanding what they're supposed to do individually. So they're relying heavily on each other. A lot of them push and pull each other to kind of get through their routines, and that's not ideal. I'm sure you've all experienced dancing with a leader or a follower who didn't know what they were doing. Even though you knew your part, you can see as soon as you started dancing with them, they didn't know what they were doing, and that usually leads to a rough dancing experience. And while dancing together with your partner is important, a level up from just practice would be solo practice. Let me write that down. See, this is the real secret to improving your dancing. Solo practicing everything by yourself. You should aim to be able to do all the steps, timing, and technique by yourself before you start dancing with your partner. If you're able to dance everything on your own, then when you do get with your partner for practice, everything will flow much smoother and easier. I personally understood this very early on, and I actually liked practicing by myself. I never understood why I only need to dance if my partner is there. I just practice by myself on my own time, and that's why I believe I was able to become a professional dancer. And if you want to improve your dancing, and it doesn't matter if you want to compete or just do social dancing, you need to start dancing by yourself. This is why when COVID hit, we added a new feature to our membership where we started doing live solo practice sessions so that people can practice from their homes. Now we don't do them live anymore, but we still publish pre-recorded solo practice routines in our members area in all of the different dance styles. Some of those routines go on our YouTube channel. I'm sure you've seen some of them as well. And it allows our members to practice their moves by themselves from home. So we break the routines down slowly. We give some technique tips. And then we also do follow along sessions to the music with my count. And this way you can work on your technique, on your timing, on your steps while at home. And it's also a great workout. By the way, if you're not a member yet, check us out. We've got the solo practice routines, but we also have all the partner dances as well in the international style, American style, salsa, bachata, and more. If you'd like to check out our membership, go to passionfordancing.com. We do offer a 7-day free trial as well. Now, many ballroom and Latin dancers will shout, but why should I solo practice by myself if I'm learning partner dancing? Isn't the whole point of partner dancing is to dance with a partner? Well, yes, you do want to dance with a partner, but only if you first know what you're doing on your own. When you build that muscle memory into your body by yourself and you know what you have to do on your own, then dancing with a partner becomes a lot smoother. I'd say followers are even more guilty of this because they're like, I just want to be led by my partner. And from my experience, when I used to teach a lot of Pro-Am students, it was very hard for them to understand why I was making them dance on their own. They would come to my private lesson and I would ask them to just dance the routine from beginning to the end by themselves. In the beginning, it was really hard for them. They were off balance, off time. They couldn't do it to the music. But over time, we build up that muscle, and after a while, they'd be able to get through the entire routine on their own. And guess what? When we get back to dancing together, it was that much better. And so when you first start solo practicing, it may not be perfect. It may not be pretty. That's okay. Just start somewhere. Get through your routine or some steps slowly first with no music on your own time. And then maybe that first time you're just focusing on the timing. Then that second time you're focusing on the timing and the hips. Then you're adding directions. Then you're putting on some music and you're trying to do those same steps to slow music. And you gradually build up the skill of practicing by yourself. And for all the ladies and followers, I do urge you to start practicing by yourself. And for the leaders out there, it's even more important for you to practice by yourself, because guess what? Not only do you have to execute all the steps, timing, and technique by yourself, but you also have to lead your partner. So this is why you want to first master all the other things by yourself, so that when you do get to practice with your partner, you can just focus more on partnering, on the leading part, on executing the lead to the music with your partner. And so for leaders, this is even more important that you're able to do everything by yourself first before you start dancing in couples. If you're looking to start solo practicing, check out some of our YouTube videos. We've got many of them in all the different dances and different styles. And of course, we've got a lot more solo practice routines in our membership, like I mentioned. Check us out. We do offer a 7-day free trial. Otherwise, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, do you practice by yourself? If so, did it help you improve your dancing or did it not? I'd love to hear from you.